Hello and Happy New Year. I'm excited to share with you a different idea regarding how to survive in 2020. So year after year, we make resolutions. Year after year, we think about goals and we try to attain goals to improve ourselves. And it seems to me that by the time people reach their 40s, they're still slightly hopeful. When they get into their 50s, they're beginning to lose hope that change can happen. And by the time they're in their 60s and 70s, they've lost all hope. They don't think they can change, and they believe that they're too old. Why is that? Why is it that people seem to give up? And it takes a little while to get there, but in their 40s, they start slowing down. In their 50s, they think, ooh, there may be a little hope left. And by the time they're in their 60s and 70s, they've just resigned themselves that life is the way it's going to be. And the truth is, they're not looking at the patterns over their lifetime. So there's a gentleman named Jeff Olson who wrote a book, and this book is about time and how if you do positive things, say for example, brush your teeth on a regular basis. If you brush your teeth every day along this timeline, then eventually that curve becomes steep and it's above the line, and you end up with lots of benefit because it builds up over time. But in contrast, if you're doing things slightly below the line, so let's say, for example, you eat a piece of cake for dinner after dinner every night, and it's just one piece of cake, right? And it's one piece of cake every day and after dinner. But as you progress, all that cake builds up, and you actually get to the point where all that cake builds up and the line curves sharply down. And it's true of everything that you do. So a little bit every day is pretty constant, but then there's a point in time at which it splits. And it's at that split that people find they're in their 50s, their 60s, and 70s, and they've seen that the habits and the things that they've created, whether it's goals or just their regular lifestyle, have become these extreme things. It's built up over time, and they don't see the pattern that's created the current situation and their current lifestyle that they're in. I would like us just this year, because it's a new century and because resolutions and goal setting hasn't been working for a lot of people for quite a while now, I would like you to take a look at your life. What I would like you to do is decide that you're going to create a different marker in your life to set your desires against. You're going to gauge yourself regarding something much bigger than you, something much more important than just drinking 8 glasses of water a day or working out on a regular basis. I would like you to take a look at what your life purpose is. And when you get your life purpose clear in your mind, when you hold on to that and understand that every life has a purpose and that you are no exception, you can see that you've actually been living that life purpose your whole life. Even if it's not clear to you what that purpose is, you've made specific decisions that have moved you forward to be in the place and the situation and have the thoughts, the thinking, and the emotions that you have today. And it's all moving toward one specific goal, one specific expression. So I'd love for you to spend some time in review of your whole life, not just the last year, like most people do when they're making resolutions, or in January when they're trying to decide what changes to make. I'd like you to look at your entire life. And when you look at your life, I want you to imagine that you are the hero in your life. And if you need some help, you can look up information on the internet regarding the hero's journey. What you'll notice is that the hero's journey starts with what seems like an ordinary life. So in the beginning, things are pretty ordinary and pretty basic. Then in the middle of the life, there is extraordinary things happening. There is a caller, there is a calling, there is a higher purpose that's identified. And the hero is faced with making a choice. Am I going to step into this higher purpose? Am I going to achieve this goal that's much bigger than themselves? Or am I going to stay and remain in this little ordinary life? And I'd like to encourage you to look at what parts of your life have been ordinary and look at the parts of your life that are calling you to be extraordinary, that are calling you to be bigger, to be more, to be greater than yourself. One place to look is at your dreams. What do you really dream about? If there were no limit to resources, no limit to time, no limit to relationships or money, no limits at all on your life, what would you really do? What would you want to accomplish? What were you set here on this earth to do and to accomplish? And once you identify that and hold on to it, you'll begin to see the path to your own hero's journey unfold. You'll understand how to make better choices. You'll find the motivations that are that can be goal-oriented, but that allow you to accomplish the kinds of things that just little goals aren't enough motivation to get you through. But once you understand this much bigger purpose, this much higher way of living, all these other little goals that seem relatively insignificant will build up, and they will be those things that are above the line. And then you will peak, and you'll find that the higher purpose for your life is much more rewarding, it's fulfilling, and you won't fall into the trap of believing that you're too old or it's too late or you can't really move forward. So I would like you to take some time and reflect on your life and look at what you've been put here to do. And of course, you can look at different areas of your life where you are best at contributing, because it is a specific contribution, a specific expression of your gifts that the world needs. And if you're not focusing on them, if you're not moving forward to the full expression of your life purpose, then you're missing out, and you're moving forward just from fear. And when fear is holding you, you actually have a difficult time breaking through and moving outside of that box that is holding you and preventing you from seeing much more broadly and a much higher purpose that you're called to do. So take a look at your life, look at the ordinary pieces, identify the extraordinary ones, because it's from that place of understanding your extraordinary purpose, from stepping into a higher calling, that you'll then see that the world is a different place. And even though you may be living in the same ordinary place as you've been the whole time, you in fact will have made an internal transformation. And that's where 2020 is taking all of us. 2020 is the year of transformation from the inside, not from the outside. So once that inner part of you, that being that is desperate to express and to be fulfilled, surfaces, once that is occurring, your transformation will then have the biggest impact on the world, and your 2020 will be much better than you ever expected or you were ever able to plan for yourself. So throw out the goals, ditch the resolutions, look at what your life purpose is, look at what you're meant to do and how you are meant to express yourself, and become the best, biggest version that you are meant to be all along. Embrace it. Let's move forward and make 2020 the best year ever.